And let's take out this here and blow things up a little bit so that it's visible on the screen. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. That's way too small. You gotta go full screen up. All right. Okay, so Romans 13:9. Over here, you remember when you see a italics like this, that is the indication of citation from the Greek Septuagint. And right here is indication of an addition in some manuscripts that is not found in the text. You follow that over here to the apparatus, and you'll find, you shall not bear false witness. Pseudo marturesis. All right? And pseudo marturesis is read by Sinaiticus, 048, 81, 104, 365, 1506, and various, well, you can see down here that are actually written out a little bit more, where the various editions are in the UBS 5th provides this. And notice that the UBS 5th provides the parallel to Deuteronomy 5, 19 through 20 as the source. Now, what's interesting here, to make this relevant to some of our listeners who are into the ecclesiastical text, no, keep it up. Ecclesiastical text, majority text stuff. The UBS 5 shows that this is a split in the Byzantine manuscripts right here. Notice Byzantine part. So part of the Byzantine manuscript tradition, and then the other part has what we have in Romans 13:9, and it went and scrolled because I scrolled that up one too far. In not having that particular phrase. Now, notice what the text says. And if there is any other commandment in this word, it is fulfilled or summed up. Love your neighbor as yourself. So it is very, very clear that it is not Paul's intention, because he doesn't even try, even in the King James, to give you an entire list of the commandments in Romans 13:9. He says, and if there is any other commandment, he's just giving a summary of commandments, not an exhaustive list. That's why he says, and if there is any other, it's summed up in this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So why doesn't the NA27 or NA28 have it as the main text? And please note, the text notes are right there on the page. You know, you go right over to it. What in the world did I do with my any? Well, I've got two. Oh, it got buried. There it is. Yep. Need to make sure we don't knock the tribbles over there. So if you got it on the text on the screen there, you turn to Romans chapter 13, verse 9. I almost opened it right up to it, and right down here at the bottom of the page, there's verse 9, and it gives you all the textual data. It's right there. Nobody's hiding anything. You can see all the manuscripts. You shall not bear false witness is right there at the bottom of the page, so on and so forth. No one's trying to hide anything. No, and then using the term like delete, all the rest of the stuff, baloney. The issue is very, very simple. What was originally written by the Apostle Paul? And when you don't have a bunch of traditions in the way, one of the things that you recognize is that when you have citations of Old Testament texts, the tendency of scribes, especially when the material is well known to the scribes themselves, and obviously, man, at our church, our young people memorize the 10 Commandments in like 4th grade, I think. One of those grades in there. when it's a well-known list, there is going to be the tendency toward harmonization with the well-known version. This happens not only in citations from the Old Testament, but anytime you have parallel materials, whether it's the Synoptic Gospels, whether it's Ephesians and Colossians, you're going to have harmonization to the more familiar form of the text. And so the real question is, you look at these manuscripts, and you look at the earliest papyri manuscript of the book of Romans, which is P46. It doesn't contain the phrase. Neither does Alexandrinus, neither does Vaticanus, neither do the Latin or Western witnesses. Numerous Byzantine manuscripts, Latin Vulgate, translations, the Sahidic Coptic, the Georgian, many of the early church fathers did not include the phrase. Why? Why? If it had been there, there's no reason for its deletion. There's no reason for its removal if it was original. But there's every reason to understand why a scribe who already has memorized the Ten Commandments might not even purposefully try to insert it. They just know this is the next commandment. And so they insert it. And so when you look at the widespread evidence from the Alexandrian, through the Western, through even Byzantine manuscripts, and I didn't look. Let me look real quick here. Texts and there it is. Well, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Because this would be a tough one for the Robinson-Pierpont folks. But it does not have. The Robinson-Pierpont majority text, I'm sorry, not majority text, Byzantine platform text, takes as the best reading not containing that particular phrase. There you go. Now, this is standard, basic textual criticism, basic examination of the materials that are available to us, this rich manuscript tradition that is available to us, and then just ask